how to draw comics like a pro. It seems to me, I did do a couple of how-to videos in the past where I was kind of starting with the basics, right? Starting with the figure, starting with the gesture drawing and whatnot. And I'll have this on the playlist along with this episode. But please do like and share this video. Please do like and share if you would. Thank you very much. So we'll just start right on in. We're going to start with heads today. On with the show. We're going to start with heads. I'm going to do... Where's my Bridgman book? I was going to do sort of a comparative between Loomis and Bridgman. Instead, why don't we just do how Mike would draw heads and whatnot. So let's see. If we're doing straight on, simple bisecting. Oh, look, it's a cross with the sunset behind it. Draw a full circle. Bisect it if you're doing a straight on headshot. Bisect this area here as well, and then bisect this area, and then chop off less than a third, maybe between a third and a fourth off each side, and that gives you the basic shape for the top of the head. This here is your center line. This is where your eyes will be. This is bisected 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your eyes should be, some eyes are bigger, some eyes are littler, some eyes are more far apart, some eyes are closer together. This is sort of just a standardized way to draw a standard human head. So eyes would be here. This line here is the top of your nose. The nose comes down. Flares of the nose are here, usually even with the inside set of the eye. So you go here. The top of the bulb of the nostril is here. And again, every face is different. Some faces, these shapes are a little longer, a little shorter, a little fatter, a little thinner. You build out the bridge of the nose there. And then from here, where the eye line is, to here, you go about the same length down to the bottom here, across to the bottom, and that's your chin area. Then you can sweep in from this point here. You can bring in your cheekbone towards, see the center of the eye here, comes down, that's sort of where your chin is. And again, this is all sort of standardized spacing. The mouth is where the bottom of the circle is. The lower lip comes down a little before that, and then you have a chin. Now this fella seems like he has an awfully big chin, so we can change it, shape it. If you want to bring his jaw straight down, it's going to give him sort of a blocky, masculine, I don't want to say hulkish, but sort of a manly, high T. He's high T, this fella. And then ears, see this top line where you bisected the middle? This is where your eyebrows set. So you set your eyebrows here, and this line also becomes, again, standardized, the tip of the ear. The bottom of the ear lines up with the nose, the bottom of the nose. So you have your ear here, and then your ear here. And that is the basic layout of the human head. You know, some people have the distance between your nose and your lips is closer. If you have a small jaw or you have thinner jawline, you know, like this. Women's jawlines are obviously not so pronounced. Do you want me to let's turn this into a chick. We're going to bring her jawline up a bit. This is the wrong size eraser. Let's bring her jawline up a bit. Feminize the jawline. The ears don't have to be quite that pronounced either. What would I want to do here? I would want to actually give her softer, bigger lips. Big lips are more feminine. Sorry to those who don't have big lips, and sorry to guys who do, like me. Ideally, taper the nose in and make the nostrils not quite so prominent. The thing about women is you don't want to, unless they're older ladies, you don't want to add a whole bunch of lines all over the place. And actually, women look a little better if their eyes are set a little further apart than men's. And then obviously you give them thicker lashes. It's funny, in comics, men, generally speaking, don't even have eyelashes. And then you want to reshape the eyebrows because young girls can have big, thick eyebrows, generally speaking. And actually, I like girls with big, thick eyebrows. Not ridiculously thick eyebrows like the Grouch. Just a little feminizing on the lines. And obviously, I think these cheeks need to be a little higher. I probably would thin this jaw up even more here. Yeah, that's better. So, I'm not saying to draw a woman that you should start with the drawing of a man. I'm just sort of showing you the differences between the male and the female. And then, obviously, you can... And obviously, women have much thinner necks And you do want to get rid of all the extraneous lines because, like I was saying, extraneous lines on a woman's face just age her. Actually, same thing with the dudes. A general rule of thumb is every line on the face adds 5 years to the age of the character. Alright, that is the head from the front. Let me move this over, and then we'll start the profile view of the lady. So I'm going to take these construction lines we already did. I'm going to bring them over here to the side. Tip of the nose, mouth, jawline, top of the head. And what I should do, for younger people, would you recommend art school or would you consider that pointless? I think you could probably learn about as much stuff on YouTube nowadays as you could learn at art school. Difference is art school kind of sits you down and makes you do it. If your kid doesn't have the discipline to sit down and try to learn the stuff on his own or her own, then maybe art school. Alright, so again, this is the line where the ear comes in. I always tend to start on the side with the ears. I don't know why. And then the bottom line comes here, or roughly thereabouts. I'll get into the specifics of the ear on some other show. From the brow back to the cheekbone, this creates a plane of the face here that aligns with the top of the cheekbone, the occipital lobe. Depending on the person, some people, their noses almost come right out from their foreheads. Some people, they have deep set foreheads where their nose comes out within here. I'm just going to kind of do something soft and sort of minimal because it's a lady, so I'm going to actually slope in the forehead, sort of round and soft shapes. That's feminine shapes, round and soft, round and soft. And no, it does not look like my wife, so shut up. Alright, so for the female, the jaw is not too pronounced on the outset, so you kind of want to follow a slope here, right? Like a man, you might want the jawline to come all the way out where the forehead is. Bam, big jaw, like, well, that looks like Popeye, but, tough Batman kind of. But for females, you want to have a more delicate jawline, so you follow sort of a line here where the upper lip, okay, here's the middle of the lips, right? The upper lip comes out to the top of this line, the lower lip sort of hits the same line here, and then the chin follows slightly in here, and then does a soft, some girls have angular chins, but I like a soft flowing, like I said, soft round lines. Soft and round is the feminine ideal. Then the eye sets within this socket area here. The eyelid comes out farther than the eyeball, and then rest of the flesh above the eye. So that gives you a basic soft understanding of the female from the side. Alright, and then again, hair. And so there it is. Girl. I'll give her some lip injections. Powder up a little bit. Then obviously give her some false eyelashes. Clean it up. A little better. Let's see. What shall I move on to next? Is it easy or hard to change facial features to make one person look different from another? No, it shouldn't be. Like I said, we have a standard ideal of what people look like, and everyone's face sort of just deviates from the ideal. I have a rounder head. So you have different shaped heads. You have people with long, thin heads, right? You have people like me with sort of rounder, right? That's more the shape of my head. EVS has something like a pear. I'm just kidding. People have different shaped heads. Girls can have they have heart-shaped heads. There's so many different shapes, but they all deviate from the norm or from a standardized set, right? Facial expressions. All right, let's do some facial expressions. Let's see. If I'm doing... Oh, you know what? I should be doing like 3/4 views and stuff. Down shots. So, alright. Just some basics here. If you're drawing and you want heads to go in different directions, you have to think of it as a globe, and you have a vertical and horizontal axis, and wherever the front of that line, this is like, front of the face, back of the face. This is that bisecting line that gives you where you begin from. You chop the sides off, because a head is not a perfectly round circular object, except in my case. This is the eyebrow or the brow. And again, you think back, this area has to once again get bisected through this line. And this is still, remember the oval from the previous one? This is still where your ear goes. I'm just going to do this very rough because I'm just trying to give you a better idea. And then this indentation here that goes from the temple. This gives you your temple plane to your cheek plane. And then this line, rather than just being a straight line when you're looking straight at it, it curves with the convexture of the actual sphere, right? And then you have that lower convex line here, which again is where you build the nose. The top of the nose starts at that line, basically. And then you bring in the cheekbones. Now, this is in a gaunt person. A gaunt person would have those cheekbones pronounced. In a heavy-set person, those cheekbones, they're still there, but then the jowls will come down beneath the cheek. The jowls will come down here, set down. Once again, the lip come down here. You might have a beard or facial hair, shorter lower lip. How easy is it for just a simple face shape and an accurate nose, semi-accurate, before you can get a likeness of somebody? It's not a great likeness, but whatever. I never drew AVS before. Given that curly Q hair on top he's got. So different angles, I could do an upward shot. If we're starting and we're looking up, right? Again, you have to bisect, right? You're looking through a beach ball. And then you're cutting off the sides, bisecting here again. Again, the brow line, the inset line, the cheek line, and then this line follows down. And again, if you're a male, comes down straight. Give him a good solid jaw. And then the bridge of the nose comes in from this bisecting point, comes out. The top of the nostrils again start at this line here. Here we are. And then the lip, because we are coming from an upward angle, the upper lip will obviously seem shorter, but we will see more of it. And then the lower lip will seem flatter because of the angle we're looking up at that section. And then I think I have the jawline a little too low. All right, we bisect here, put the ear here in this third or this quarter down here, this lower right-hand quadrant. And that's where your jawline drops from, comes forward, Adam's apple. And again, the eye line comes up here, follows this line, and then follows this line. You see this line coming in here for the, like I said, to give the temple plane. This is the temple plane here. This is the cheek plane, and then down here. This also has to fall into this line. So you fall this way, and that is where you set your eye. And likewise on the other side, if you can see it past the nose. And then again, eyebrows and spiky hair. There you go. So that's a basic build. What else should I go to? I did an upshot, a downshot, 3/4 views. Expressions. All right, I'm just going to start with the face itself instead of everything. So obviously, anger is the easiest expression. You obviously start with the eyebrows because the eyebrows make you angry. Everything pinches here, right? When you're mad, everything pinches here. All of your face scrunches here. Your eyes, your crow's feet scrunch towards here. Everything scrunches. When you're angry, it's just ah. And then what's fun to do in anger is just have your eyes bugging out. Even your nose scrunches here. And sorry, I'm not building all my construction lines around it. And then your face. You see what I'm saying? Everything points here. Your face, your gritting teeth, the lines on your face just bunch up, scrunch up. I'm not saying to just draw eyes and just do this. This isn't not anger, but it's a sort of a generalized truth, and that's what drawing is a lot, is generalizing truths about things you see, because you're not going to draw every nose hair and every feature, but all right. So anger, like I was saying, generalizing things. It's learning shorthand, and the thing is, you don't just accept my shorthand. Come up with your own shorthand, but this is basically anger Although you can do it in so many different ways. You could do like shocked. See, it's funny when I think of doing this stuff, I always think of like eyebrows first. Eyebrows are so expressive, but you want to do shocked. It's like you have to see the top of the eye, the top of the white of the eye, right? And then the pupil, just undilated, just point of light or a point of darkness. Or you could just do the legit, like, whoa! And then you gotta kind of crinkle up the brow above. Sorry, I'm doing this very shorthand because I'm just kind of trying to get through expressions. I do basically use Loomis styling for the way I do heads, except for the particulars of the structure of the nose, the structure of the eye, the structure of the mouth and stuff. I do rely more structurally on Bridgman than I do on Loomis. But, you know, hey, we stand on the shoulders of giants. All these guys have already figured all this stuff long before I was born. And so we should not try to reinvent the wheel. Go check out the different artists. Loomis, Bridgman, Vanderpoel. Even if you like Byrne, Hogarth. I hate that. That guy's stuff's terrible. But, hey, some people like it. So check it out if you do like it. Take things from them. They have their own particular styles, their own particular, you know, quirks, shortcuts, however you want to call it, and build off of them. They have to be the firm foundation artistically. Yeah. All right, let me shade this face. Say we have a light coming from the back, right, which creates a backlight. Say it's coming from over here. You want to think of where this is going to be dark and where this is going to be light, but it is coming from this side. And then we are going to have another light that comes from the other side as well. But we want to get the shading in on this side. And then we have a light that comes in from this side, and this creates a coarse shadow. So the forehead is sort of bulbous. It is a flat plane, but it is still a convex plane. It is not... It's not like a piece of cardboard or something. This light is still casting a rim light on the side of the nose, so it would cast another slight coarse shadow here. This light here isn't affecting this side of the face, so any shading here would be coming from, say, the brow, right? The brow would be dropping some shade here. It would be dropping shade under the eye, because of the skin under the eye is shaping to the eyeball itself. This brow would be casting a cast shadow here, right? The nose, too, would be throwing a cast shadow here, which would end here because you are getting the bounce light here. And then this would also be casting the shadow from the indenture of the lip and the crease of the cheek to the nose here. And this little divot inside of the lip here would also be shaded. The bottom of this lip would be shaded. A cigarette would be casting shadow here. The lower lip would cause a deep shadow here. And then the chin, and obviously the chin, the actual chin. I don't know what this is called here. It's part of the mouth musculature. You would shade here, and then you would do a light shading. Because the light is up here, you would shade the cheek very lightly, not overdone, and then also the jawline. Here, might throw a little cross hatching this way. So that would be about how I would shade that head from that standpoint. You want to learn from reality if you want to be a stylistic artist. So I was having this conversation with my daughter last night with J.C. Leyendecker, who is one of the preeminent illustrators of the 20th century. Phenomenal grasp of form, structure, shading, painting, everything. But he chose a very stylistic approach to painting, and I mean, I love it. You can see guys like Brian Stelfreeze, even Adam Hughes, Dave Johnson. You see a lot of these guys using Leyendecker isms in their work. It's what gave Gaijin Studios sort of a house style, right? They all loved Leyendecker, and I do too. My point is, you study the reality in order to develop your own stylistic interpretation of reality. Don't learn to draw. This is going to sound hypocritical since it's how to draw comics like a pro. Don't learn to draw comics from comics. Learn to draw comics. Learn to draw from reality and interlace comic styling into your illustrations. And that will give you not only a better grasp of form and structure, but it'll give you a unique flavor, a unique style. Because you don't want to just come in being, I'm the next Joe Madureira, or, I'm the next Rob Liefeld, or I'm the next anybody. You want to be yourself, but you want your influences that you've gathered over the years to just add like spice and flavor, right? You want to be the meat. You want to be the meat, and the styles of the other artists that you love, you just want those to be spices on your meat, but you still want it to taste like a steak. You don't want it to taste like a carbon copy of somebody else's work. Especially in our community, here's the problem with like Marvel and DC and stuff is they don't know what's necessarily good, but they knew what sold. So they saw, oh, Joe Madureira is selling like hotcakes. Let's hire Roger Cruz. Because it's not that Roger Cruz wasn't good. It's just they were trying to sell Joe Madureira light on another book because Joe Madureira sells. That wasn't a good way to actively go out and find new, unique talents. That was just a bunch of editors being too freaking stupid to realize what good real talent was about. So they would just say, oh, well, this guy looks like Madureira, this guy looks like Jim Lee, this guy looks like Rob Liefeld, this guy looks like Todd McFarlane, and they would just hire people based on that, whether they were good or not. If they could get away with looking enough stylistically like another person, it didn't matter if they knew form and structure and anatomy and storytelling and all that stuff, because editors didn't know any better. But we have the opportunity here where we support awesome talent regardless of who they look. Alejandro Mirabal, oh my goodness, I don't even know where he got that style from, but it is so gorgeous. I love it. But he probably would never have gotten hired at Marvel DC because he doesn't look like anybody. It's so funny. There's something else I can draw here. And for those who don't know, I do my own book. It's called Lone Star. It is on Indiegogo now. The link is in the description, as are links to some other comic projects you might be interested in if you are new to the channel. And if you are, please do like and subscribe. And leave comments and criticisms and suggestions for future episodes of How to Draw Comics Like a Pro. I am, for those who don't know, Mike S. Miller. I am a 27-year veteran of the comic book industry, most known for my Injustice series at DC Comics and the Game of Thrones books. I have been working at Marvel, DC, etc. for most of my career and Image and Wildstorm. I was a Wildstormer dude. And now I am off on my own, creating my own characters, creating my own universe, the first of which is this fellow right here, Lone Star, sort of a Captain America meets Blade. And this will not be the most elegant drawing of Lone Star, but I'm being challenged to do this in a very limited amount of time. If you want to see a better look, go hit that link in the description, check it out. After you've subscribed, of course. And again, yes, suggestions for next show or for upcoming shows. I do want to do this more regularly than not. Hopefully grow this fan base and bring in some of my older fans who've been reading my books for a quarter of a century now, 'cause, it's been a long time. Alright, there you go. More or less Lone Star in whatever time I had left. Well, thanks for everybody being here. LoneStarComic.com for the comics. Like, share, subscribe. And I hope to see you on the next episode of How to Draw Comics Like a Pro Workshop.